Most people think they're building wealth. They're not. They're building the appearance of wealth. And by the time they figure out the difference, they're 40, they're tired, and they're still one bad month away from zero. This video is about the 7 things that actually separate the people who end up rich from the people who end up pretending. Not tips, not tricks, milestones, markers, the kind that don't lie. And here's what I want you to notice by the end. It's not how much you make that determines whether you cross these milestones. I'll prove that to you. But first, let me tell you about a 28-year-old engineer I want you to keep in mind. His name is Marcus. He makes $94,000 a year, drives a decent car, has a good apartment in Austin. From the outside, Marcus looks like he's figured it out. He's smart, he works hard, and he genuinely believes he's on track. He is not on track. And somewhere in this video, you're going to recognize either yourself or someone you know in Marcus's story. I'll come back to him. But first, the milestones. Milestone 1. Your first $1,000 that was hard to save. Not a bonus. Not a tax refund. Not money that appeared. Money you chose not to spend. This sounds embarrassingly small, it's not. The psychology of this first thousand is everything. Morgan Housel wrote in The Psychology of Money that wealth is what you don't see. It's the cars not bought, the clothes not purchased, the upgrades declined. That first 1,000 you protect is the moment your brain rewires. You stop thinking of money as something to spend when it shows up. You start thinking of it as something to keep. Most people never make this shift. They earn more, spend more, and die with nothing. The first 1,000 is the proof that you can. Milestone 2. A 3-month emergency fund. Here's the thing nobody tells you about emergencies. They don't care about your plans. Your car breaks down the week you were going to start investing. Your landlord raises rent the month you finally had extra cash. 3 months of expenses, not income, expenses. Sitting in a high-yield savings account, untouched. This is the foundation. Without it, you're not building wealth. You're building a house on wet sand. Every financial move you make gets destabilized by the next crisis. With it, suddenly you have something powerful, the ability to wait. Milestone 3. Zero high-interest debt. Not all debt is created equal. And this is where Marcus starts to unravel. Marcus has $11,000 on 2 credit cards. His interest rate is 24%. He makes minimum payments. He tells himself he'll pay it off when he gets a raise. He won't. Because when the raise comes, there's a new phone, a trip, a dinner. Marcus is paying roughly $220 a month just to stay in place. That money, every single month, you could be building something. High-interest debt is not a financial problem. It's a gravity problem. It pulls everything down with it. Getting to zero on high-interest debt before 35 is not optional if you actually want to get rich. It's the prerequisite. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you currently carrying high-interest debt? Be honest. You're not alone, and I want to know what you're dealing with. Milestone 4. Your first investment account actively growing. Not opened. Not funded with $50 one time. Actively growing. Automatic contributions every month into a 401k, an IRA, a brokerage account, something that is working while you sleep. The research on compound interest is almost cruel in how clear it is. A 25-year-old who invests $300 a month with a 7% average annual return will have over $900,000 by 65. A 35-year-old doing the same thing ends up with less than half. That 10-year gap costs you more than $500,000. Not because you invested less, because time is the actual ingredient, and you cannot buy it back. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today, while you're still watching this. Milestone 5. At least one income stream that isn't your job. This one is where people get scared. They hear multiple income streams and think they need to quit their job and start a business. You don't. You need one thing. A side that earns. It could be freelance work. It could be a digital product. It could be dividends from your investments, which means Milestone 4 feeds into Milestone 5 naturally. The point isn't the dollar amount. The point is the identity shift. The moment you earn your first dollar outside your paycheck, something changes. You stop seeing income as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something you can create. That's not a cliche. That's a fundamental change in how you relate to money. And it compounds just like interest does. Milestone 6, a net worth you've actually calculated. Here's a number most people have never looked at honestly, their net worth. Total assets minus total liabilities. What you own minus what you owe. Marcus has never done this. He doesn't want to, because somewhere in his gut, he knows the number is bad. And here's what happens when you avoid the number. It gets worse. The people who build real wealth by 35 are the people who know their number, track their number, and treat it like a scoreboard. Your income is your speed. Your net worth is your distance. You can drive fast and still end up nowhere if you're going in circles. Calculate your net worth today. Write it down. You should be aiming to have 1 full year of your income saved in net worth by 30, and close to 3 times your income by 35. These aren't arbitrary targets. They're the markers that show the math is working. Milestone 7. A written financial plan you actually believe in. Not a budget, not a goal you set out loud at New Year's. A real plan. Where you are, where you want to be, what it requires. A study from Dominican University found that people who write down their goals are significantly more likely to achieve them than those who don't. But this goes beyond goals. It's about trust. You need a plan you trust enough to follow when things get hard, when the market drops, when the emergency happens, when your friends are buying things you can't afford and you're choosing not to. A plan you believe in is the thing that keeps you in the game long enough for the game to pay off. Without it, every crisis is an excuse to quit. Now, let's go back to Marcus. Marcus is making $94,000 a year. Marcus has hit 0 of these milestones. He has no emergency fund. He has credit card debt he's ignoring. He has no investments, no side income, no written plan. Marcus is not broke. Marcus is something worse. Marcus is comfortable enough not to panic, but not disciplined enough to actually build anything. And comfort at the wrong time is a trap. The most dangerous financial position you can be in isn't poverty. It's the feeling of being okay when you're not. Because poverty creates urgency. Comfort creates delay. And delay, compounding over a decade, is devastating. Here's what changes for Marcus if he hits just 3 of these milestones in the next 18 months. Clears his credit card debt, opens an investment account with automatic contributions, and calculates his net worth honestly. His financial trajectory doesn't just improve, it bends. The math starts working for him instead of against him. The next decade looks completely different. And that's the point of this video. These aren't aspirational ideas, they're structural. Hit them, and the system starts working in your favor. Miss them, and you can earn a lot of money and still end up with nothing. The question isn't whether you understand this. The question is whether you'll do something with it before the day is over. If one of these milestones hit differently than the others, if one made you uncomfortable or excited or both, drop it in the comments. I read them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.